everybody, welcome back. So today is going to be the new posting schedule for Crochet by Landry. I'm going to be trying to post every Wednesday, and if I don't get one out every Wednesday, it'll definitely be every second week. I just had to adjust my posting schedule because I recently got a new job, so I have to kind of accommodate that. And I need time to film for you guys, so I'm going to be posting either every Wednesday or every second Wednesday. And if I don't post, I'll let you know, or I'll, put a note up on my YouTube or my Instagram, and letting you know when the next video comes. But that's going to be it for today. Like, I'm going to be posting either every week or every second week. But today I thought we'd talk about an update on some of the crochet supplies that I use and take with me when I either go to markets or go anywhere. So we're going to do a crochet supply update today. So grab a cup of coffee, cup of tea, beverage of some kind, and a whip, and let's get started talking about crochet supply updates. Okay, so one of the updates for my crochet supplies that I started doing a little bit recently you may have seen it in one of my other videos, is a little case probably about this big or this big to keep my crochet hooks in, but it really wasn't working for me, and I just needed something to put all my stuff in, all my hooks, all my yarn needles, my stitch markers, my scissors, all that stuff, to put it in one place so it's not very much organized, but it's all in one spot, so I just reach in, look for what I'm looking for, and it's easy to find. And that item it looks like a pencil case, and it is a pencil case, but it was made for me by my mother, who likes to sew, and she made me this little pencil case, and it's wonderful. So she used it using leftover material. So I've got everything in here, from my scissors to all of my favorite crochet hooks. And these are like kind of like almost plastic, but not quite. And they're fantastic. I got them on Amazon, and I really do love them. And I also got some metal crochet hooks in here as well. Because you never know when you need a metal crochet hook, because sometimes your project just needs one. I've got stitch markers in here as well. And again, for stitch markers, you don't have to use like plastic stitch markers like this. You can use bobby pins, safety pins, paper clips, an old little strand of yarn if you want to keep track of your rows that way. Those are some of the other ways that you can use stitch markers as well. I've also got my yarn needles in here. This is just a plastic one with a big eye on it. I use these ones a little bit more when I use the plush yarn. I use a smaller eye for when I'm using worsted weight yarn, which I've started using recently, trying to use up some of it. But that's all I have in here. Is, as you can see, it's just a pencil case with crochet hooks in it. And I keep all of my stuff in here, all of my hooks, my yarn needles, everything is in here, and I just throw it in my bag, and it's colorful enough that I can see it and pull it out when I need to look for something, or if I'm going to start crocheting. So that's what I use for my hooks. It's like I said, I just throw it in my bag. And there's even a little loop on the end here. So if I wanted to, I could get like a little carabiner, or even a, what's it called? A keychain thing, and I can clip it inside my bag as well. And that way it's even more noticeable, so that way it doesn't get lost in there. But it's colorful enough that I can see it, and it's at a bold enough print, which is great. So, and then another way I've been using a notebook to keep track of ideas I have, or for patterns I want to come up with. And I do have some patterns coming out soon, I believe in the next few months. But I use a notebook to keep track of my ideas. If I have inspiration somewhere, I make a little doodle in my book. And I also write down patterns in here, or I keep track of stock I'm making for markets, because that way I can kind of write down what I'm making as I'm making it and how many I'm making. So sometimes a notebook is a good idea when you have it on hand, because sometimes you get that inspiration, you're like, oh no, and if you don't have your phone nearby to write that inspiration down, a notebook is handy to keep in your bag. That way you have it in case you need it. Another thing that I've been using lately, and you may have seen it when I post some of my pictures of my plushies on my Instagram and whatnot, is the eyes that I use. The eyes that I use, I get in a specific place because for me it's the best price because I buy in bulk. And this is an order I got recently. I got 3 bags or 6 bags in total, and they were 2 different kinds. Some have the snowflakes on the eye, as you can see, and these ones don't. They're just plain, but they have colors that you can use to put. And I get these off of a website called AliExpress. And it is very inexpensive, and it's a wonderful website, and I get them and I use them on a repeated basis. And I'll put the link down below if you guys want to check it out. But this is where I get my eyes, and I can get them in all different sizes, from really small to really, really big. The biggest size I've gotten so far is I think 40 millimeters, and they're like huge, and they're a pain in the butt to put in, but once they're in, they look really cute and really, they make your plushies have a life of their own. But I get these a lot, and these bags, I believe, are 20 pieces, I'm thinking. And it comes with the eye itself, the backing to put it in place, and a color to have a color behind the eye, so it makes it even more vibrant when you're making plushies. And depending on the plushie you're making, could make it even cuter. Who knows? But I buy them from AliExpress on a regular basis, and I really do love the eyes. And these are the ones I use when I make my plushies, and it makes them more adorable, makes them more cute, makes them more lifelike, and more has like kind of gives them like a personality or something like that. But this is what I use for safety eyes now. I do still use the straight, just plain black eyes, but certain plushies have to have the plain black eyes because you have to be able to make them facial features, and I'm still working on that part. But if I don't have straight black eyes, I drop to the big plushy eyes. And another thing I started using recently was I upgraded my bag, my crochet bag, my yarn bag, and I upgraded to this one, and it's got a handle, and it also is a backpack, which makes it so much easier when you're going to markets. You can just throw it in your back and walk around, and no big deal. It's got a spot for either notebook or tablet on the back, and then in the front it's got the zipper to open it up and to have all your either crochet hooks or yarn needle or knitting needles and all that stuff in the front. It's got 2 pockets on the side here, so one on this side, one on this side, and as you can see on the side, it's got the little holes specifically designed for when you have yarn in the bag. As you can see, the big gaping space, it's lots of room, and then you can put the yarn through the hole and have it, and you could just create that way. But this is a wonderful bag. I think I got it on Amazon. I don't remember how much I paid for it, but it was relatively inexpensive. It's a wonderful bag, and I like the vibrant blue color, because that way I know it's mine. And when I'm at markets, I bring this when I more or less do markets, or when I go out to my parents' house, I bring this with me. I carry it everywhere I go because I'm a crocheter. It's, it's our habit to bring yarn wherever we go. But I bring it with me wherever I am, and that way I have something to do when I'm sitting at markets and I'm waiting for customers or waiting for people to approach my spot. And I do love this bag, and like I said, I throw my pencil case in here, and it's easy to see, especially when you've got the bag full of yarn. It's the first thing you spot, and then I throw in a couple of bags of eyes and my notebook, and I'm good to go. And that way it's easy to see, and I don't have to worry about fighting where my stuff is in my bag, and I can place it where I want it. Another thing I started using more recently was, again, as you've seen, the plush yarn. The plush yarn I buy is from Michaels. It's the Loops and Threads brand, as you can see. And this is a newer kind of colors that I've gotten recently. But I use the Loops and Threads plush yarn, either this one, which is the polyester one, or the chenille one as well. They have 2 different kinds, so depending on what colors I can get. The Loops and Threads, the Sweet Snuggles brand, is more vibrant, bright colors like yellows and oranges and pinks and greens and blues. The chenille type is more I want to go with neutral tones, not so vibrant, bright colors. So depending on the plushie I'm making, it depends on what yarn I'm going to buy. So I use the Loops and Threads brand, and it's wonderful yarn. It's fun. The only downfall is that when you're making something that you may be covered in fuzzy, who knows, but just get a lint roller. That's another thing I bought recently, was a lint roller to lint roll my clothes when I'm making things, so I'm not completely covered in fuzzies from head to toe, especially when I wear black, because I do wear a lot of black. So makes it a little easier so I don't look like Big Bird. So I don't look like I've massacred a bunch of plushies in the span of 5 minutes. But that's all I wanted to say for today. I just wanted to talk about some of the updates that I've done recently to my posting schedule, as well as my crochet supplies. So if you have any questions, leave a comment down below. If not, I will see you next week. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye, everybody.